Hey, what's going on, fight fans? Hey, this is Coach D. Everybody calls me the Wild Man. Welcome to my first official live podcast of Fight Camp Promotion. Okay? Fight Camp Promotion is a branding platform for combat sports, where we talk about making sure we're doing interviews, hype videos, fight commercials, training videos, whatever you need to kind of brand yourself in the combat sports arena. Okay, so that's what I do. I travel quite a bit. I'm always over the place, making sure people can get help that they need. So today's podcast is going to be why amateur MMA will be the next successful platform to save mixed martial arts in the future. Okay, if you know much about professional MMA, what do you know about? UFC, Bellator, Champion One, all the big brands, Brave, you know a lot of the big names. Okay, so you grew up on like Conor McGregor, John Jones, all these big names in the pro ranks, but you don't know too much about the amateur ranks because there's never been a tracking platform that kind of helps you learn who these fighters are. So when you see a fighter, they're already pro. 9 out of 10, you'll see them make their debut in the UFC or Bellator or something like that. That was the first time you're introduced to who these fighters are. So you don't have a chance to know their background. If they didn't come from, a high-profile college that talked about them and interviewed them and watched them grow into, combat sports, you probably will never know who they are. Okay, I'm doing a quick mic check right quick to make sure everybody can hear me. There you go. All right, so we're good. So getting back to it. So the reason why I say amateur MMA, it will be the next platform that saves mixed martial arts is because we're developing a tracking system that's going to allow people to grow with the sport for the next generations to come. Like I said, at my age, I was around for UFC 1 all the way up to now. You know what I'm saying? So this current model is what I was raised on. So, but the next generation is going to be raised on this new model to where you can track a MMA fighter from early childhood all the way up to the pro ranks. So you'll be able to have your favorite fighters from when you were a kid all the way up to when you were an adult. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we're going with the future. So let me break it down. Okay, so right now we have UMAF, which is the United States MMA Federation, which is Mixed Martial Arts Federation. And basically what it is, it's amateur MMA, to where you will do national tournaments where you will have a 3-day event where you will have a bracket system where you can compete day 1, day 2, and day 3. And as you win each day, you go to the finals. You go to the finals. If you win, then you won your weight class. Okay, and you will be a national champion. Okay, now with that, you have to make weight all 3 days. And just like with any other event that you see on TV, you have to compete and win. You know what I'm saying? Of course, with amateur MMA, you have different rules compared to as a pro. But that is actually our system of following, to where you can track how a fighter is doing over time. Okay? And from there, once you win nationals, then you're able to go to IMAF, which is the International Mixed Martial Arts Federation. Okay? And that's where you can compete on the national level. They say, so when you're competing on the international level, you will be competing with other nations. So this past November, we had our IMAF championships where we had I think 10 fighters from the United States compete in Bahrain. Okay, and they competed to I think up against 54 different nations with like 350 athletic competitors. So that shows you how big that platform was. It was a 5-day event. Everybody had to compete up to 5 days. Okay, so think about that compared to a normal local event here in your home state, or compared to like the UFC, like Bellator. So that's even bigger than your local promotions. But a lot of people don't know too much about it because amateurs aren't followed like that, like pro fighters are followed. So now that we're building this more platform, you're going to be able to see amateur fighters being followed more. And our goal is for to get Olympic recognition for amateur MMA in the Olympics. So by 2028, our goal is to have amateur MMA in the Olympics. So right now, IMAF, the International Mixed Martial Arts Federation Championships, is our current style for the Olympics, because you compete so many days, and at the end you'll win gold, silver, or bronze. So that's our Olympics right now. So we had a great exposure. We had a lot of champions, and so far, every year, United States has won gold. In that arena. So you see, we have a platform or success. We just have to grow it. So the reason I'm doing this podcast is, why should you be a part of amateur MMA? So if you're choosing to get into MMA and get into amateur MMA or MMA period, okay, you can come from many different platforms. You can come from boxing, you can come from wrestling, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, Muay Thai. There's a lot of platforms that you can go to into mixed martial arts. So from there is, as you begin to train, as you get better at mixed martial arts, you can compete on the amateur level, or you do small shows like in your hometown or your travel, depending on your availability. So as you continue to improve and you get a starting record, then you can compete for UMAF, okay? And UMAF will be your national qualifier. Like I said before, you will compete for 3 days, and if you win, then you'll be able to go to international level. But that's the growth that I think will save mixed martial arts. Now, am I saying mixed martial arts has a problem right now? No, but I'm saying we don't have a structure that everybody can follow, that everybody could be a fan at any level. It's only when they're pros is when you have a chance to see them on TV, have a chance to follow them, see what they're doing, and so on and so forth. So the goal is for you to follow them at any level. So we have many platforms that are starting to grow when it comes to MMA. So now we have the USFL, which is pancration, and basically that's youth mixed martial arts, but it's called pancration. So as a child, you can now get into basically mixed martial arts and pancration and learn the sport at an early age. So then that when you get older and you get into high school, now you can compete as an amateur in mixed martial arts. Then as you compete as an amateur, then you go to these national qualifiers, and then you win the national qualifiers, and then you can compete on the international level. And then you win on the international level. Now everybody knows your name, everybody knows your track record, everybody knows your history. You got international status and fame and popularity, and then you can go pro. And your name will have more of a foundation that everybody can follow. So you see how that blueprint works now? So we are actually building a platform that allows the growth of a mixed martial arts competitor. And that's the goal. Of course, we got, a lot of hurdles to get. So it's not in every state as far as, amateur and mixed martial arts as a whole. So step by step, day by day, we're growing the sport, and pretty soon we're going to be everywhere. Okay, so that's why I want to say, hey, amateur MMA is going to be the platform that puts mixed martial arts on the map as a foundation. Because think about your other sports. So think about football, basketball, baseball, tennis, golf. You name all these recognizable sports that has tenure, that has history. Okay, and you've seen everybody was playing these sports at an early age. They were playing in the Pee Wee leagues, then they went to middle school, then they went to high school, then they went to college, and then they went pro. Okay, so we have a track record of competition that anybody can follow. So if you're a parent and you want to see your son or daughter in a sport, you can start watching them in the Pee Wee leagues, see how they perform. Then you can step them up, step them up, step them up. That's not the case completely in mixed martial arts. You can't really do mixed martial arts as a child. Now you can, but it's not in every state. So depending on what state you live in, you would not be able to do mixed martial arts until you get old enough to join a gym and start training under a particular MMA camp if it's there. Okay, but you wouldn't be able to compete in any kind of tournaments or anything like that until you got older. But once we get like USFL pancration in every state, then at a young age you can compete. You see what I'm saying? So we're building the platform that's going to see us into the future and give us a recognition that we deserve. Because right now we're doing great, primarily on the pro level. So now we're building the platform for amateurs, and that's the goal. So we actually have a tournament coming up. It's going to be, what's the date? February 28th to March the 2nd. It's going to be our our national qualifier. So like I said, so when you win nationals, then you'll be qualified for states. You'll be qualified for worlds. Okay, actually, let me find out where it's going to be. Give me 1 second. Because I didn't write it down. How about that? So let's look it up right quick, and then we can see. And like once I said before, this is the growth of the sport. This is the growth of MMA. This is where we're trying to get to, and we're working on all the details. So the more we do, the better we get, and that's what it comes down to. So we want everybody to get involved. So if you're a amateur MMA competitor, why not join nationals? Why not do UMAF nationals? You know what I'm saying? It's going to be at the Kewandin Casino, Kewandin Casino, and it's going to be, where's that at? It's going to be, is it going to tell me? All right, I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up. It's not telling me. Hold on. I'm looking it up. I apologize. I'm looking for it. I didn't write it down. Now I can't find it. Michigan. Dang it. It's going to be at the Kewandin Casino, St. Agnes? Well, it's going to be in Michigan at the casino. Okay? So that's me trying to figure it out. You see, you don't write stuff down. Boom. Okay, so like I said, that's going to be a 3-day event. It's going to be February 28th to March the 2nd. Okay, and once you qualify from that, if you win your weight class, you are a national champion, which something can't nobody take away from you. So you can be involved in, you could be a 10-0 amateur, win all your events, all your fights, and not be recognized as much as being a national champion, because you're going to get exposure because you're now qualified for the international levels. So I recommend every amateur should do UMAF. And like I said, it's a growing thing. A lot of people are trying to do it, but it's getting bigger and bigger every year. So don't let anybody tell you, that you shouldn't do it. There's no benefit to do it. There's a lot of benefits to do it. Some of our great champions that have been into the UFC, that's now wrestling for Brave, and all that kind of good stuff happened because of UMAF and IMAF. Okay, on top of that, you have a once you qualify for nationals, you can compete on the international level. So you don't just have to do worlds, which is our our world championship competition, but you can compete in Asia, you can compete in Africa. We got you have the European Open. So we have many international events that you are now qualified for just for winning nationals. Okay? So like I said, there is no limit to how much you can grow as an amateur. Before, people said, hey, it don't matter your amateur record until you go pro. That's not necessarily true. When you win the right fights and you're in the right venues and you're doing the right thing, like being part of UMAF and IMAF, then there's a lot more success that you can leverage towards going pro. So don't overlook it. Don't think that you can't succeed as an amateur. You know what I'm saying? So my recommendation is, by all means, go to the UMAF page. It's umaf.org. Register so that you can be a part of the growth of mixed martial arts as an amateur. I guarantee it'll be an experience. And if you want to find out if you're the best of the best, why not do it? Why not do it? There is no getting around it. You will never, forget the experience you have just competing nationally and then having a chance to compete internationally. It's something that you simply will not forget. So that's our recommendation. That's me doing my plug so that everybody can be a part of this growth. So you're going to see a lot more podcasts like this, because it's time to keep the word. It's time to get the word out and keep the word out. It's time to do more for the sport. It's time to get more involved. It's time to raise awareness of mixed martial arts and youth brand creation with USFL and how to be successful in the sport of mixed martial arts. All right, so that's what I'm doing. This is my first podcast, going live, trying to get everything worked out. So it's going to be February 28th to March the 2nd at Kawandi Casino in Michigan. Look it up. Go to umath.org, which is the website, or go to UMath on Facebook. So UMMAF on Facebook. Look it up. They'll give you all the information. And I think Ryan, the director of UMath, is going to be doing a podcast on the UMath page on Facebook tomorrow. So check that out. That's going to be some great information. This is me doing my first podcast. So get everybody on board. So stay tuned. What's next? You're going to see me doing these on a regular basis. We're going to be talking about, how to build your name in mixed martial arts, how to get, your hype videos, what to do, how to do it, how to get your name branded, all these things when it comes to mixed martial arts. All right, this is Coach D, Fight Camp Promotion, giving it to you, first live podcast. Till you hear from me again, peace out.